For centuries before European contact, Africa was a continent of profound spiritual depth and complexity. Civilizations like the Yoruba, Akan, and Dogon did not merely believe in gods. They lived within intricate cosmological systems. Deities such as Shango, Oshun, and Ogun were not distant figures, but active forces governing justice, love, technology, and the natural world. This wisdom was encoded not in books, but in an oral tradition, a living library carried in stories, drum languages, dances, and proverbs. It was a holistic spirituality where the divine was woven into daily life, community structure, law, and the environment, representing a sophisticated understanding of the universe that stood complete and self-sufficient long before external religious frameworks arrived. The arrival of Christianity, particularly during the colonial era, initiated a systematic campaign of spiritual erasure. This was more than theological disagreement. It was a fundamental clash between the authority of the written word and the tradition of oral knowledge. The Bible, presented as the ultimate enclosed written truth, was weaponized to delegitimize Africa's living oral traditions. Missionaries, backed by colonial power, systematically recast African deities as demons, their priests as witches, and their rituals as evil sorcery. This demonization provided a moral justification for the destruction of sacred sites, the banning of languages and drums, and the psychological warfare of teaching generations that their ancestors were damned. Conversion became a tool, not just for changing faith, but for severing people from their cultural and spiritual roots, facilitating control by creating what Frantz Fanon would later diagnose as an internalized sense of inferiority. Faced with existential erasure, enslaved and colonized Africans executed a remarkable act of spiritual resistance, syncretism. This was not a simple blending of beliefs, but a strategic camouflage for survival. Across the diaspora, Yoruba Orishas were hidden behind the masks of Catholic saints. The warrior energy of Ogun was worshipped in the guise of Saint George. The maternal waters of Yamaya were honored through Our Lady of Regla. In Haiti, the Loa of Vodun found parallels in the saints, while in Brazil, the Orishas of Candomblé were preserved in secret terreiros. This created a hidden transcript, a double consciousness where compliance with the imposed religion was performed publicly, while ancient worship continued in secret. This ingenious strategy preserved entire cosmologies, languages, and rituals under the threat of persecution, ensuring that the spiritual flame was never fully extinguished. Today, we are witnessing a powerful global reawakening of these spiritual traditions. Driven by the internet, social media, and movements for cultural reclamation, African diasporic spirituality is emerging from the shadows. Hashtags like #Oshun and #African spirituality connect millions, while academic courses and mainstream media bring these once-suppressed narratives to light. This revival is more than cultural nostalgia. It is a profound healing from historical trauma, an ecological reconnection with sacred nature, and a reassertion of identity. It represents a post-colonial dialogue where these ancient gods are no longer seen through the lens of demonization, but are recognized as vital, legitimate paths to the divine. The story of Africa's gods is ultimately a testament to the resilience of memory and spirit, proving that while names can be erased from books and rituals banned by law, a living spiritual heritage, once planted in the soul of a people, can never be fully destroyed.